generation needs to rediscover the Word of God for itself. It needs to put it in its own expressions and own language. And the book is not necessarily my attempt to recast all these things, but it's an attempt to awaken artists and dancers and painters and writers, you know, to say, oh my gosh, that's in there? I've got to create something that reflects that, something that would lead people into worship for our church, right? And so Psalm 100 is part of that. It's one of the ones that I've done in the first book. And, you know, and I imagined this thing. I found out Psalm 100 is actually the song that they would sing on the way up to one of the Jewish celebrations that happened. They had 5 of them during the year. And this was a song that they would sing as they were going on the way there, right? And then you might even be greeted by this music at the beginning of it. And I just had in my imagination, what if the requirement in order to get into this big national celebration was that you actually had to be happy? And you had to prove it to someone. How do you prove to somebody that you're happy? We got a little song, right? If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. Or your life, or something. But a lot of times we go through life not having anything on our face that shows and demonstrates whether or not we're happy. So, when I was writing my response to Psalm 100 and seeing that, I thought, this needs to be done loudly. Because it says, shout to the Lord, all the earth, and a lot of times it's read, shout to the Lord, all the earth. Break forth into joyful singing before Him. That doesn't quite do it. You know? So, I'm going to do this piece, Psalm 100 here, and when I go like this, that's your cue to like let out the biggest, most incredible, joyous shout that you can imagine, okay? You think you can do that? Yeah, let's practice a little bit. It was not that bad. That was not that bad. Just, if you're having trouble, imagine that England is in the World Cup. They've actually made it past the quarterfinals. They are, so they've got like a penalty shootout going on. Pirlo has just missed. That would not right. Okay, Pirlo has just missed, right? They're playing Italy, and Pirlo's just missed. And Gerrard comes up, and if he makes it, they're actually going to win the World Cup. And he actually makes it. Imagine that happens. What kind of noise would you make for that? And then just think, just pretend that the God of the universe is like worth just a little bit more than that, okay? So if you're struggling, just go for that. Okay, so here we go. I want noise. I want a song. I want it loud. I want a throng of drunken revelers, madmen, rejoicing and hooting, hollering, happy, lifting up a shout of victory. A celebration, explosion of thanks. A dance of goofball pranks and gaudy glee flung up to the sky. I want to cry tears of joy and gratefulness to the ground. That purifying sound of laughing and giggling, curdling, bubbling. Bust out the booties and start them shaking in a dance that tramples the endless monotony of day-to-day trance and sway. Because I want to break out and display the eruptive firework, humongous, oversized, cable penalized, shackle splitting, eardrum crashing, church wall smashing, hurricane of gladness to the unmatched creator of the world. And don't be afraid to stop doing what you've been doing and start chomping on the taste good, juicy fruit of an excited heart serving its maker, getting that margarita shaker and stir up those untuned vocal strings. Because I want to hear you sing. Let some melody come skipping out your mouth in a childhood game where the eyes of God smile approvingly. His holy butt getting jolting jiggy with a little wiggy wag grab bag of disco moves. Don't lose this chance to prance this thought in your mind. You didn't make your own behind, buttocks, gluteus, flatulence, or whatever choice 3-letter word that you decide to use. It was a gift to wear along with those woolly shoes and the rest of your sheep-covered skin. Is this news to your fears? released to the queer quackpot notion that you've got to conform your posterior to the rigid right-angled pews of a Stone Age way of sleeping? Come on, let's let that bass drum start leaping out a beat, keeping the streets lined with a raucous throng ready to enter the king's palace with praise for the maker of the sun, stars, and rain. We'll throw up our hands as the overload of sensory delights and presence fills up our expanding brains. We'll drink the healing champagne of his merciful, eternal name. Because he's good. He loves you. He loves me too. And the invisible free-to-all reality of that is never going to change. Woo! That is good news. Thank you.